Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we'll be going through live order flow and all markets webinar. And why are we doing that? To begin with, well, there's only one way that traders can participate in the auction market process, and that is via their orders. So this is why we want to understand the order flow. We want to understand those participants' engagement into the market. The more that we can understand this on multiple time frames, the better we're going to have understanding where price might go. All right, so it is a big part of trading, is understanding the order flow. In fact, I would debate that from the smallest sub-second time frame on up to the monthly chart, it's all order flow. It's just different time frames. Anyway, let's jump in here. And our process in here it's the same as what we use in the Bookmap Academy. If you're interested in that, you can find it on our website. And what we're doing is journaling and building a playbook. And we'll be going through this process in this webinar, looking at the live market. Impetus, what's moving the market? We'll talk about that in just a minute. And then we're going to look at key levels around our what's moving that market, understanding where traders are going to react. And we have some hindsight, or I want to cover Friday's activity. It really parlays well into what's happening today. Then we develop strategies and scenarios, some pretty easy ones I think this morning, and then we look at our setups. Okay, we want to choose the proper setup for the day. This drill down into our setup is critical. If you're trading the wrong setup for the day, well, you're likely not going to have good results. So our setups over here at Bookmap in the Academy and the pilot program, you have to know your setups. You should know them intimately. Okay, you know how to grade them. You know a good one from a bad one. You have experience in them, and then you determine your risk and your sizing, and then it's down to the order flow for execution and trade management. All right, so and the pilot program is a subset of the Bookmap Academy. Just to be clear on that, what exactly it is. And this all developed because, well, it's something that I had seen a really big gap between many of the traders out there. They can understand setups, etc., understand all sorts of data information, but they don't know how to build an edge. They don't know how to define one. And this pilot program, which will change the name very soon, is designed to change all of that so that you know you have an edge. You're going to build it yourself, and you're going to build it through your experience and partake in the community. We'll provide you a structured process here, and very quickly you'll be able to develop this edge. This is something critical here, is the quickness. We use the replay mode, and we trade many instances, and we provide you all the materials for that. Okay, so it's all included with Bookmap Global and Global Plus. All right, let's go through the disclosures and jump in. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody out there on Discord. Let's see, we got Dan, Alois, Lo, Stephen, Laura, and let's see over on YouTube as well. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dan, for putting in the links there to the Academy and the pilot program. If you guys are interested, you have them there. All right, so you know what? Let's just zoom out here a little bit, and I want to show or go over on Friday, because Friday was, during this session in here, was kind of tricky. for me. You know, I've had this happen so many times that in the past that you know, I want to cover this because like we have to learn from what we are looking at and put that into our way of trading, like adjust, learn from it, move forward, get better every day, every trading session, right? And the more that we can do this, the more we will eliminate errors or things that we don't need to pay attention to. This is critical, right? The more we can do that, the better or the higher probability our trades will be. It will get rid of it's a editing process in here. All right, so let's just zoom in here because like let's actually, so I'm going to go in reverse a little bit. So sorry for you guys. I want to cover this though. This is really important from Friday. Let's look at our higher time frame. Okay, our candlesticks here. This is the daily here. This is Friday. Okay, when the webinar started, we were selling. Well, we'll take a look at the order flow here in Bookmap, and we were selling off hard into. We're looking at this swing down here. That was a key level, and we had a key level. We had the order flow starting to support that, and it just kept going lower. Okay, and then we saw another one. Wasn't really at a key level, but it looked pretty good, and that one failed as well. But end of the day, or not end of the day, it was not too far. After the end of that webinar, we saw a huge reaction. Okay, we were looking for it earlier, and we're just a little too early on this. I want to cover all of this in here, and then we'll get into today's action. Okay, this won't take long, but this is food for thought and how to, and this is part of the journaling process, going back and looking at your trading activity. All right, so what's going on? All right, so we saw the gap down here on Friday, and then this was the level we were looking at here around this 91-ish area, 90, 91, and then you can see we went through that area, and we probably went down. I don't have the volume profile or profile here, but to me it looks like it's probably a POC down here, like a most traded level down in this area in here, and then we saw a really nice, very strong move to the upside. And look at this. Okay, everything looked horrible, right? Everything was like doomsday. You know, we're going to hell in a handbasket. We not only went above the open here, we closed the gap, and or right up into closing the gap here, and then at the end of the session. Well, at 4 p.m. East Coast time, we were still going up. Okay, we're still going up, and look at the volume even here in the candlestick chart. Okay, now it's really the order flow in here was I found a little tricky, but there's some really interesting things on days like Friday. Okay, this can lead to a multi-day high. Okay, after days like Friday. Okay, I mean we're already look at the gap here on Friday, and look at the gap here on Monday. Now we also have some fundamental data. Okay, we're going to get to the order flow, guys. This is a roundabout way, but first off, it's this Friday's action is setting us up for today's action. All right, so everything was bad, you know, selling off, and wasn't really that bad though. Okay, there's like maybe, you know, stocks are overvalued. Perhaps the Mag 7 is especially overvalued. There was some profit taking, and the government shut down. However, the Fed is lowering rates near all-time highs here, or we were at all-time highs, and that's a very bullish outlook, and very odd, and we don't see that behavior very often. I don't know, like something like 7 times we've the Fed over the history of the Fed has lowered rates at all-time highs. Okay, so anyway, So what we saw here, and let's take a look at the order flow in here. This is where it didn't make sense to me, and I was looking for the trend line break and accumulation setup in here. Okay, we're looking for it down here. This was we had all of the elements, right? Look at the accumulation here passively. Okay, we're at a key level, or let's see, our 90 level was kind of our key level. It was down here. Oh, I'm sorry, where is it? Now this is our key level here, right? Okay, so beautiful, you know, all this passive accumulation here, liquidity getting filled. We see we're zooming in looking for our structure to break. Okay, we see the move back up into here, come back up, we break it here, and our trend line had already broken, and then you know, we failed. It price came down and it just kind of hung out here. There's even a low volume pullback in here. We don't see sellers, and then they came and just kept pushing, right? And we broke lower, and then it's like, okay, that didn't make too much sense to me, but there's just still more selling pressure. You know, there was more aggressive sellers than there was liquidity, and the market sentiment was bad. So we continue to go lower. And then we saw another one, I think, near the end of the webinar. I think it's down here. And then we again, we see, you know, a lot of liquidity getting filled passively. We look at the transition as well in the volume in here. Okay. Now I'm not making excuses. I'm just going through and looking at my setup. Okay. And what did I do? What did I do wrong? And learning from it. And as far as I can tell, like, boy, I would have done the same thing, and each time, and the it just didn't work out, right? There was just still more sentiment. So this goes out to Duzman. I don't know if Duzman is in here. You're Duzman. Your dedication to this is fantastic, and you're going to get this. You're on your way, so keep at it. Okay, this is not an easy thing to do, but you are doing the right things. Anyway, so we continue to grind lower, and this is why I bring you up, Duzman, is like, this is one of those things. You saw it to the upside many times. Okay, that there was just more pressure by the aggressor. In this case, it's to the downside. Okay. However, and Shark can also stand behind this, I believe, as well, is that even if you take this, you can get out of it. You can get out of it for a small loss or a small win, and you can also take some off, like we had talked about. We were looking for areas maybe a little bit higher to take some off. I think on the first one, this one worked out, or the second one, I think I was like, this looks really good, I would hold it, and I was looking for taking a profit up around here, and yeah, let's take a look here. Alois, you've got the volume profile. Okay. Right. Okay, so yep, it's hitting that high volume node down there. Yep, exactly. I mean, you know, you never know, but you don't have to be, you know, a profile expert to look at this data down here and see all this back and forth in here. You know, there's going to be a lot of trading down here, and usually the the POC or the high volume node is somewhere in the middle there. You know, again, speculate. Sometimes I'm surprised it's a little lower, sometimes a little higher. Anyway, so let's go back and what was I talking about here? Duzman. Oh yeah, I mean, you can still manage this and get out. Now this is the thing though. Okay, look at the volume in here. Okay, do you see a lot of selling pressure? No. I mean, they're still going lower. There's some selling in here, There's some selling in here, but there's also a lot of buying on the way down. Okay, so we're just waiting and watching. Now this, what I'm starting to outline here is this is like a multi-day potential move here. I've seen this so many times in Bookmap during the previous sessions. You're like, this doesn't making much sense, and then you see this. It actually happened a lot of days. It will close at the down here. It'll kind of go sideways for a bit. The next day you might see the gap up, and then it really moves. In this case, it happened later in the afternoon, okay, which is nice. Very, very strong move. And look at the volume in here, right? I mean, clearly you see the transition up here, okay, as it broke this structure here on the higher time frame. Okay, so I actually had in replay mode, I made the couple images here from the activity, and this is the higher time frame. Okay, so as you guys can see, we had a very high time frame, much higher time frame trend line broken later around 1 p.m. and we also had a pretty big structure in here that broke, and then the volume really picked up after that. And you even get a low volume node, or I'm sorry, a low volume pullback right here. Okay, does everyone see that? Okay, and all of this volume picking up in here. Okay, this is your low volume pullback, kind of where it broke out from. And then how do you trade that? Well, I'll be coming up with a criteria soon, but look at the volume starting to come back in again. Okay, trade it up to the top of the range, hold, or even add as you see it break with more volume, and look for potential swings or high liquidity on the offer. All right. Yeah, Duzman. No, I mean, like this is frustrating. This is why I wanted to cover it. But you traded your plan, you followed the criteria, and maybe it just didn't work out. All right, so you just reduce your risk. Number one thing to do is don't unwind. Don't go on tilt. It can be frustrating, but just trade your plan. That's it. And it's like, okay, it didn't work out, so what? Look for the next one. Keep moving forward. All right, because Duzman and others in here, especially you guys know in the pilot program, you have built the experience. You know now what works and what doesn't work for the way that you are trading, even though it's the same setup that we're all trading. All right. Anyway, this was the higher time frame look. I also have a lower time frame look here, and these are kind of lower time frame trend lines that I put in here. This was later after the webinar around 12:07 or so, and then we see another structural break. It's right here, this structure, and also this diagonal structure. Okay, it broke here, and it also broke in here. And look at the transition starting to take place again by the aggressors. Now, what else do we have in here? Well, take a look at it here, and let me get rid of by using drawing tools here. These tools. Okay, look at again the accumulation passively. Okay, so now we have a lot of buyers here that are accumulating, and then we go above them. We break the structure and we go above them right here. Okay, so this is all looking pretty good, pretty solid. There's still selling pressure. We come all the way back down and hit it again in here. But take a look at some other things on the higher time frame in here, and that would be, I don't look at CVD really, but here's some really nice divergence, and it continued. Even if you look at CVD on the higher time frame in here, this is what we noted during the webinar. Okay, this is the move down, and look at the CVD, moving up. Okay, just means that in the overall in here, we know that there's more aggressive buyers than there are aggressive sellers. All right, so this is all food for thought, and this is a higher time frame setup. Okay, and now I'm not going to promise anything at all. That would be ridiculous. I will say this though, there's been many times where I see exactly this on the higher time frame, and we go to multi-day highs. Okay, we see, like, 2 or 3 days, and we'll come back up into something like, high liquidity up here around 68.20, maybe even higher. Okay, 68.50. Okay, that's basically like 190 points away. Okay, look at the volume coming in here. Right now, we don't know. We got to reduce our risk along the way, but the higher time frame setup like this can lead to much bigger extended moves. That's my point. All right, so let's zoom in here, and then also, like, where this leads into, good morning, repeat, and where this all leads to is a lot of times, like, if we're looking at today's activity in here right now, you got to remember who's behind us on this, right? So are we looking for a breakout? More likely than not, yes. Okay, just not due to the news, but just due to the all of that liquidity that got filled on Friday, and the gap up, and well, that's news, but like it gapped up on Friday. We're going to get a gap regardless. Okay, and then yes, you might see in here, this is Duzman, this goes back to you again in here. Look at this. Okay, high liquidity, high liquidity, high liquidity. Okay, getting filled here, 3 levels. Okay, on the offer here. Okay, but look at this down here, right? So what do we look? Are we going to fight this? No, we're fighting a much higher time frame move now. Okay, so we're actually looking for the breakout here. Okay, and the continuation trade here. This would be our impulse back and forth, maybe wedge pattern here, and then we're looking for the continuation. All right, so now that's the multi-time frame analysis here that we're putting in. All right, makes sense. Okay, so anyway, the market's it's not gonna be all that easy to read. It's not gonna be all all roses. It's gonna be back and forth, but this is what, overall, this is what we're looking for. Okay, and we don't want to fight that in here. Okay, if we see a ton of selling coming in, which we don't yet, we see a little bit here, that's it. Okay, we don't want to fight it. Okay, now we know that this time frame for the day at around 10:30, like, this is kind of what we get, or I'm sorry, about 10:30, 11:30, this is kind of what we get. Anyway, let's keep an eye out though, and look for some measured moves from this range on up to something like this. Okay, so our 45, maybe 47, maybe 50 can work out today potentially. All right. All right, guys, so that was a lot to cover, but really important. Okay, mixing in that higher time frame and what we saw on Friday into today. Okay, now let's get back into our process here. Okay, so our playbook here, impetus, what's moving the market. Okay, that's pretty easy today. Well, it looks like we have a government, right? And the stalemate is over. This is bullish, clearly, and the Valuations are, that's still an issue on stocks, and especially the Mag 7. But we're still in a bullish environment. Interest rates are being lowered. Traders think that there will be another cut in the near future, or before the end of the year. That's to be seen. We don't know, but they are. That's what I've been reading about, and we're seeing that activity here. So, what are we getting then? Okay, so this is a potential scenario, and that's why we go over this process here. Okay. So impetus, we know what's moving the markets, right? And the key levels, we will take a look at some of those. We talked about many of them, but we'll look at some key levels for today. But we're kind of jumping over to strategies and or scenarios here. And what we're looking at in the strategies and scenarios is a higher time frame move. That's a big part of it. All right, and got it. Boy, I had something else to mention here. I can't recall. Oh, right, yeah, this is it, guys. I don't know how many times, like, yeah. Hold on just a minute here. This is something that you can look at the charts in here on the daily or weekly or whatever it is. This is a phenomena that I have never really seen before. In fact, I mentioned it on the NASDAQ Trader Talk show. We were invited to, maybe I can find that link for you guys. I'll put it in here. I mentioned this in that talk about, like, the retail traders, like, are getting more and more sophisticated. Not just us in here, but in general. That they're buying dips much quicker. In fact, even as far back as the pandemic, they're buying dips, and we're recovering so quickly. And then that happened also in April, okay, with the tariffs and the trade wars going on. Okay, we recovered really quickly after that. And here, let me just bring up a chart of that. Hold on a minute. I've got the VIX up on the chart. Okay. Let's put in the futures here. Okay, now this is the ES. Now tech is, it's going to be way better if we look at the NASDAQ. But let's look at the daily here. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is April. Okay, and look at the recovery here. I mean, this is just a dagger here going to the downside. We come back down into these lows in here, these swings in here. We get a massive reaction. Let's just zoom into the daily here. I think this day was like 10% gain or something like that. I mean, unbelievable, right? Look at the pullback we got in here. And if I put volume in, we'll see even better in here. You'll probably see a beautiful low volume pullback that works on the higher time frame. Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. And look at the volume starting to pick up in here. Okay, guys, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's just, this is how the market works. A lot of, I was reading articles at this time, a little bit after, is like, who was able to capture some of these bigger moves in here, and these pullbacks. And it was mostly retail that was capturing it. They were kind of leaving some of the institutions behind, and that was shocking to me. Anyway, many things have changed over the past years here. And you can go back to not just to the pandemic, but the meme stocks and what happened with GameStop and AMC. and that squeezed a ton of hedge funds and retail traders were never able to do that before. It was crazy. Anyway, so uh, that's another thing in here to consider about today and some of these days moving forward. Okay, is buying the dips. Okay, and seeing that this dip down and look at the move immediately away here. Okay, we are seeing that behavior. Okay, now we talked about what were some of the negatives in here about overvaluations, etc. But look what the order flow is telling us. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Let's that's been enough here, but I mean this was important to go over, especially on the higher time frame order flow, and mention that to you guys. All right, so let's dig in a little deeper here and see what's going on right now. Oh, and well, one more thing to take a look at here. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. How are they doing, right? You're going to see a lot of buyers scooping this up. Okay, this is, I don't want to say it's an easy trade, but you'd be looking for this to go higher. Okay, looking for 198 right now, a buck. And it's already gone up a couple bucks, right? Anyway, like I said, the market's not going to give it to you that easily. It's going to fight for it, but anyway, overall, that's what we're looking for. All right, and this is the concern with the Mag 7. Here, let me just bring that concern up because this is a concern, and I think this is what the market is reacting to. Okay, we look at the heat map in here of the S&P 500. I mean, this is just incredible. Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, Broadcom, and Oracle. I mean, that's like, I don't know. They say it's 30%, but looks even more to me of the S&P 500. These are multi-trillion dollar companies. And they are by far the big gorillas in here. Yeah, overvaluation in them for sure. That's a major concern. But buying them again and seeing this green in here, look out, and we're going to the upside. So buying the dips, adding back in. So anyway, look, I am not saying that you go long and this is all going to work out and be rosy. These are things to consider. It is a part of our process in here. Okay, is to understand the environment we are in, the impetus of what's moving the market. Okay, so now we went through strategies and scenarios in here, but we didn't talk about much of the key levels here. So let's take a look in here. Okay, so as you can see, like we're kind of stuck in a little bit of a range right now, but it's still quite bullish. Okay, look at all of this liquidity coming in here right now. All right, so are we going to see sellers move toward that, or is this going to be something that pushes and repels price away? Okay, so far it's not too clear. It's not too clear. Okay, there's buying and selling in here. All right. You see if there's any questions. I went on quite a diatribe in there. This is important though to cover all these things and put these into the proper setup that we're looking for. Okay, so yeah, back down to the bottom of this range in here. And let's see if this turns into some sort of range bound trade here. Some good selling just came in here. Also, buyers on the bid though. All right, let's see if we can get a retest back up here to about 68.30. Okay, that just that retest back up here to where it broke from. Thinking that there's still going to be some buyers in here interested in taking it back into the range. All right, let me see if there's any questions in here. That was a lot. Okay, no, we're good over on YouTube. And let's see how we doing over here. No questions over in Discord. All right. Okay. All right. Well, no, this is the pullback we got here, just to the top of the bottom edge here, and that was it. All right, let's see it. Let's see it, sellers, if you can hit into this high liquidity in here. And the buyers are very interested in buying down here. You can see the layering coming in here at this liquidity level, then a little after, and then a little bit after as well. Okay, so we got a lot on the bid here. Our large lot tracker is also showing that there's it looks to me like it's all pretty much similar here. It looks like somewhere around 50 contracts or so. Here, let me just duplicate this and show you what I mean here. Okay, go to configure and we'll just look at bars only. There it is. See the little white line in here all the way down. Okay, so the same amount of contracts in here. It's likely the same player. Or other players are just tagging along and providing exactly the same amount of liquidity, which I find less plausible. Okay, large lot tracker that comes with Global Plus, if you're interested in that. What is my take on this? I think these are willing buyers, low. And you can see the our 930 cash open here. Okay, so this is exactly like, how many times have we seen something like this here during this time of day? We see the move down below, a swing here, or you see, first off, you see a swing up to here, and then it broke out, right? And that's where we got the retest, and now we're retesting again. Okay, so here is the swing from the cash open, though, down here, right? 930, and that's the swing that we also see here in the overnight. It's a little bit higher, but somewhere around in here, right? Okay, so if all of these buyers get filled in here, that's a lot of passive accumulation. Okay, stop everybody out along the way. Okay, everyone thinks, oh, I'm so bullish and everything, and then we just go along when we see all of this liquidity filled, or much of it, and then we look for a break of the structure and we look for our aggressors to come in. That's my take on it. And low, you know very well with the trend line break accumulation that all of your experience in there, you know what you're looking for. A note on that setup as well. In here, you can see the same setup in here on the higher time frame from Friday. Let's just go over it in general. Like there's a lot of things to kind of take a look at in here. Um, this if we kind of drill in a little bit more, we see this line in here, right? And that structural line that was broken. And so this, it took a little while to kind of turn around in here. So that's where you get your shoulder, your head, your shoulder. Okay. Then once it turns around, though, look at the volume. And you can see the transition also in here in the volume bars down here, right? This is very typical. We see that one little or this volume in here pick up. That's what we were looking at, and that pattern failed in here. And then we had the head here, and we still see more volume. And then in here starting to pick up a little bit more. Okay, I should have extended the volume indicator here, so we can see it better. But it really picks up here, right? There's no question about that. Okay, relative to all of this other volume in here, this is really picking up. Okay, and that's where you get the CVD as well, picking up. All right, so all right, I've gone over this stuff enough, I think. Let's look at the live action. All right, so still going lower. Okay, look at the profile here, nice P-shaped profile, but we're exploring lower. And let's look at some of our key levels. Okay, we're below that one. Okay, and now we're coming down to this one here. This is a key level for me. And then the other one was the low here from the cash. Oh yeah, I did want to take a step back and look at also the VIX in here. This is again the elevated VIX here, just at 29 or so was from several days ago. That again is the trade wars type stuff. And then recovered from that, and then we see again a spike here above 20. I don't know, you guys are looking at around 16 or 20 or something like that as your level of really starting to pay attention to the VIX. 20 looks pretty good. This was a spike here on Friday, okay? And look at us now, right back into it. Right, so yeah, maybe having the VIX come down to around 17-ish or so looks pretty good here. And this is the daily, okay, on the VIX. Yeah, guys, as you know, like we cover we always cover the live market in detail. Usually don't go through this process that we just did, talking about the bigger picture environment, Friday's activity, etc. But that was the order flow on Friday. Okay, so we're just extending that into today's session, right? And then also learning from what had happened on Friday. What's the meaning of slope, Johnny? Slope is the angle. I don't know where did I talk about that? Did I mention slope? It talks about, we look for like the angle of a move combined with volume. Okay, it gives us a lot of insight. Okay, now this is a pretty, a pretty big, at least for me, like looking at this and all of that discussion about the move higher in here. Okay, well we're seeing like it break this this key level down here, and now we're down to our next key level here for today, and we just filled all of this liquidity in here. Okay, so again, like let's see then if we can get these buyers come in. Okay, big stop runs in here as well. Okay. We can start to draw some of our trend lines in here. And now again, it's not, trend line is just, we're looking at is structure. In this case, is diagonal structure and where traders might react. Okay, a lot of iceberg buying in here, up about 1,000 just in the last couple of minutes. All right, okay, so we traded through that liquidity down to this level here at 68.15. Is there more below 6,800? But let's see if what else do we have in here? You can see this algo chasing down here. Okay, the bid is starting to show some interest down here between 10 and 12. Yeah, look at this algo in here just working it. All right. So let's see here. Are we going to come down to? Oh, we're below it. Okay, below the cash session. So let's take a look in here. Okay, so here's our we're in the gap area in here. Looks like somewhere around in here, around 84 or 85 would be half a gap fill. So I don't know if sellers are interested in coming back down into that area here. We'll take a look. Okay, another key level would be down here. And oops, sorry. Let's actually and we can these two. Okay, let's see here. All right, so pretty strong move here, and lots of stops. And also some icebergs starting to buy as well. All right, now we're getting some buyers in here. Let's see if these buyers can come back up to the just about here, 15 here. So not looking for much, but starting to find some. Okay, the bid is looking pretty good in here. They are bidding up, and we're starting to find some aggressors here. All right, let's see these buyers come back up to, we were just talking about around this 11 area here, and then back up to about 15 or so. Let's see if they can muster that. No, I mean, the bid still looks pretty good. So they're bidding up in this area here, providing liquidity at a higher level. Now we made slightly higher lows in here, slightly higher high here, and just this small structure. But we need to see those buyers come in. If they don't come in, then this isn't going to work. Right here, let's see if we get some insight right here at 10. Looking for those buyers and then looking for the lift back up into, I don't know. There's a low volume node around that 12, but we were saying like about 15 or so up in here. Now, exhaustion and sellers. So not ready yet. Okay, this is our exhaustion right here. and a lower. Now this is getting into the kind of not necessarily microstructure. It's not sub-second, but as you guys can see on a micro range, I guess, and the a lower high here, very little buying, selling, and then move back down to the bottom of the range here, and that would be our exhaustion here. And that's not what we want. If we're looking for that move higher, then that's not what we're looking for. Still finding some buyers though. A high liquidity there at 10.5. So far, this structure actually is bearish in here, as you guys can kind of see. It turns into a triangle here, and there's our sellers. Okay, so this again up into these areas up in here, we don't see the buyers in here, and just kind of mentioned right before the break in here. This kind of structure in here is bearish. And it's these little areas in here where we're looking for that understanding, and then also some of that selling in these areas in here. Okay? But we didn't see too much selling in here. It was still, that was what had me kind of surprised. Okay, so let's see, what do we got now? What have we got? All right, so 6,800. All right, let's go through a couple of scenarios down here at 6,800. So it's just trading into that. Okay, we're going to get a bounce there. A lot of times, what we see is we do get the move into the big figure like this, and we get the move lower by, it depends, like somewhere between 5 and 10 points sometimes, and then we get the move to the upside. Okay, so everyone's selling below 6,800, and then buyers are able to lift it back up above 6,800. And so that's a potential scenario here. Another one, sometimes, a lot of times what we see is like price will come down into these areas in here just shy of the figure, and then we get the move to the upside, and it looks like it wants to do, we see that the buyers are coming in, but then we get kind of a double top up here, and we roll over and then hit 6,800 and then go through it. Okay, so a lot of profit taking right in front of the figure. Yeah, here's a swing down here at this during the London session here. This is another level interested in looking at. Um, Lo, when will the dynamic history be available for the public? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean like I mean Alois I believe is has answered it here in 7.6. If you have to have bookmap data though, and then you'll be able to zoom out like I am. I just have bookmap data and I'm using production version 7.6. That's it, and I have it. Yeah, if that's it, then I think so too, Alois. That's what he's talking about. All right, guys. So we're down to that 97 level, and we're still selling off in here. There's 97, a lot of liquidity, and we have a few other layers here down below. Okay, so down to just about 10 points here, down to this 67.90 area in here. Okay, let's see. And that could potentially offer that nice slingshot back up. Well, we're certainly not getting that bullish move to the upside in this session. I mean, we did in the open, and then still, this is still looking great up here for the continuation move. And then the sellers came in, and then all this high liquidity came in here, and still looking, even if it trades in here and looking for absorption, looking for the buyers to come back out, and we never really saw them come out of this here. Okay, the sellers continue to just sell into it here. Okay, but we're gonna keep an eye out for it here and look for again all of this passive liquidity getting filled in here and accumulation passively, and then structure break, and then aggressors. Okay, so that's kind of kept us away from it as we watch this continue to go to the downside here. Yeah, that's exactly right. Alois is answering you. So look for you've got to input here. I'll show you in I can't really show you. It just works with the ES and the NQ. Okay, maybe that's what maybe you're trying a different symbol. Okay, but for the ES and the NQ, this will work. Okay, so just bookmap data, and then you'll go in here and you'll choose futures, CME, and then ES. Tried. Okay, what version of Bookmap are you using? Go to About and Help and About and look it up. And then let us know in here. All right, guys, this is getting really interesting now. Look at that behind it here, this liquidity, and we're hitting our trend line here. Okay, so we definitely have the passive liquidity. We're below the figure. Now we're back up above the figure. And look at the bid in here. We're getting our aggressors in here. Yeah, I'm looking for these aggressors to come back in, and the next level would be 10 up here. Let's see if we can get a lot more out of that. Again, we had to wait for the whole session, and we don't know yet still, right? I mean, like this is something that we started off where we mentioned earlier is the potential right or left shoulder here. Okay, we talked about it with Duzman that you know, we're looking for here. Let me go back into here, bookmap.com education, and then go down to the strategies and setups course here that we have. We have the reversal pattern in here. We just have it in the diagram form, but it is perfect for this demo here. Okay, so this is the downtrend into high liquidity, and then we start to see this right here. These buyers starting to come in where we didn't really see them before, right? So far, this is exactly what we're starting to see, right? And then we just see that there's still more sellers. They go back down one more, and then we see a lot more buyers coming in here, trade back up to the top of the range here. We don't break it though, and you know, our trend line would be in here. It would be broken here. Okay, but then what we're looking for is this kind of shift in volume in the order flow, and then we're looking for less sellers on the way down. Okay, there might be liquidity here that transacts, and then this would be kind of like a low volume pullback basically, and then we're looking for the buyers to come in over here on the upside. Okay, and then there's your shoulder, head, shoulder, high liquidity at a higher level in here. And then if we get our buyers really starting to step in, there will be like a smaller trend line break in here that you'll see. Okay, this is aggressive for an entry on this, but we're seeing that shift in the order flow, so we're going to go with it and consider taking some off at the top of the range, but looking for continuation pattern after this. Okay, and you guys know what I'm talking about. So you'll see the break of the structure. You get the reversal, and then you'll get this low volume pullback in here, and there's your take profit. Actually, that the pattern is complete for that reversal at that point. You got your measured move, well, then what we're looking for after that is what happens here for the continuation after, and then we'd be looking for that low volume pullback in here. Yeah, something like that. And then can we get, yeah, usually on the first pullback we see high liquidity in here on the bid, and then we get the hold on. And we get that high liquidity on the bid, usually on the first pass, and then the buyers start to come in again. And that's when that's our low volume pullback. You can take some off to reduce some risk at the top of the range, or hold or add and look for the continuation. Okay, so here we go, right? So this is what we've been, it was just like Friday, kind of waiting for this to unfold. And then up here, this is, consider taking your partial profit up here. Okay, this move is starting to play out. Now, if you're going to hold it for a longer term, then you're looking for the next level up here, okay, around this 20 level, right? And you can see like there's some sellers already lining up in the low volume node in here, or low volume area, right? So interested sellers or profit takers up there. It's still a big P-shaped profile as well. So we'll see. But we'll see if this turns into a shoulder, or if this is going to turn into just trend line break and continuation. It does not work for us mortals. I don't understand. What okay, 7.6 bill 29, that's what I've got. All right. Hey, I don't know, reach out to support low, and ask them and say, like, it works, like, you know, Bruce showed it in the webinar many times, it should work. Why doesn't it work for me? They're wizards, they'll figure it out. You reached out to support. Okay. Well, I don't know. Only for me, it does not work for you. Well, okay, I'll have to follow up with that low and see. All right, guys, I have to leave a little early, but keep an eye out on this. We kind of waiting for the whole session here again, and to see if this pans out here. But we have a lot of liquidity at our backs. That was filled passively. So now we're waiting and watching to see if the aggressors are interested in taking this higher. Okay, and are they starting to accumulate? We're starting to see it in here, okay, right in here, and here we see it as well, right? But they didn't get much traction out of it. We need to see price move as well as the aggressive accumulation. Okay, this is where we saw the exhaustion many times over, right? This is that little pattern in here was where we saw, like, the buyers up in here. They just couldn't. They couldn't even get back up. They got back up to this little swing here, which is lower than this one, and there's no buying. Okay? And we get again in here, but now we're starting to see some sellers. So that's when we're kind of looking for it. And it was kind of a call at last second there to look for the move down to 6,800. Okay? And then we talked about the move below 6,800, and then maybe the move back up above it after we go through it here. Okay, so our key level is the 97 in here. Okay, let's just zoom out a little bit. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, right down here. It's actually a little bit lower. Let's adjust that. Okay, so something like that. So around 96, 96 and a half. And there was liquidity there. Okay, so let's see if we can get it now. Okay, Laura, so it doesn't work for you either. All right, we'll have to find out more about that. All right, guys, anyway, so back to, actually this is kind of good, back to what when we started. We talked about on Friday and the move lower, and then today the gap up, and complete reversal that took place on Friday afternoon, and then the gap up today, and then we're seeing the move back down, but we're seeing the same exact thing starting to unfold again. High liquidity on the bid, getting filled in here, and now, and then some structure broke here. Okay, but we don't see the we see some aggressors in the small time frame here, and we just mentioned it. Take some profits up in these areas up in here, right? Because we're not sure if this is going to do the that's hitting your single, right? Taking some off, and or all of it if you're new to it, and then now we're waiting, kind of watching to see if this turns into low volume pullback and buyers come in again. Or are we going to kind of dip down a little bit lower in here, make the head of the head and shoulders, and then we maybe we'll see the buyers come back in, right? So that's a few different scenarios. Those are bullish scenarios. If there's a bearish one, boy, there's going to have to be a lot of selling coming in here and those sellers, yeah, the next area I would be looking for is this top of the range in here on the 15-minute or on the hourly here. That would be around 83.5 or so, and then gap fill down to 60 or so. That's a pretty big move. Don't know if we're going to get that or not, but keep an eye out for it. All right, and look at your order flow and key levels. Anyway, guys, yeah, it's thank you. I really appreciate it. The higher time frame and putting these pieces together, there's a lot more. It's not as typically it's not as straightforward. There's a lot of back and forth that still unfolds on the higher time frame. Okay, time of day as well. Some of these factors. I think that's what we're seeing, but we need to confirm it with the setups. Okay, again, impetus, what's moving the markets, key levels, scenarios, which we're leaving off here on scenarios, and then we look for our setup. Okay, the setup is easy. We all know the setup. We're just waiting for it to fit into the scenarios and the key levels and the impetus. Then we got something. All right. All right, guys. I got to go at that point, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck, everyone. Be careful out there, and we'll catch up with you later. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.